The 2025 Southern Conference, Frank Solano, The Business of Pickleball.
And Frank's going to be working with us today in the business of pickleball. So if you got a chance to see his presentation out earlier, I loved it. I mean, he did a great job with it, talking about, hey, you know, what do you need to do to get to that next level and how the game has really changed. And I thought you did a fantastic job on that. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Frank, I'm going to leave it up to you. Go for it, sir.
Guys, my name is Frank Solano. I am from St. Simon's Island in Georgia. I am the director of tennis and pickleball there. I've been on the island for about 10 years. I was the head pro of Sea Island, and when the owner of the club said, Frank, we're getting 2 pickleball courts that you need to get certified. And I was like, what is pickleball? I had no idea what it was. And he's like, Frank, you gotta figure it out, play it. Because I thought it was for old people. I was just like, I'm not gonna play that. So as soon as I started playing, I was losing to 76-year-old people, and I was just like, I gotta figure this out. So I started playing, and I am very competitive. So when I do something, I like to be the best. That's my personality. So I started playing tournaments, and in 2022, I played the 5-0 US Open. So I'm playing against all these 20-year-olds, right? And I'm just beating them one by one. And then at the end of the tournament, in the semifinals and finals, I beat some pros. And I was like, man, I can really compete at this level. So I started playing some qualifiers, and I started playing some big-time names. I started playing Ben Johns, all the guys that are like in the top of the pickleball world. And so now it's just, you know, I get to share the things that I've learned in that journey in the 5 years that I've played pickleball. So the market opportunities, it's, as you guys know, is the fastest growing sport in the USA for 4 consecutive years. As at the beginning, everybody was, you know, taking it as a silly little sport and didn't take it very seriously. And as the popularity became more and more, people were starting to take it more serious. And then as a tennis pro, I felt like the market diversification is huge, because if you can have 3 extra classes or clinics a week, and you can, you know, get $1,000 more revenue in your program, why wouldn't you do it? You know, and I feel like the tennis players are the most qualified to do this, just because, like, I play with squash pros and I play with ping pong players, and they're not as good. You know, they'll have quick hands, but their ground strokes are not as good as tennis players. So I feel like the tennis players when you're coming from tennis, you have that much amount of spin on your shots, you have a lot of control. And when you have quick hand battles at the net, then you can't teach that. You can't teach the quickness and the hand battle. So I can tell that all the tennis pros, if they take it seriously, they're going to be able to dominate. So that's what I think we're, as far as the tennis players are the most qualified to teach these. So revenue streams, court construction and facilities. That's kind of like, it's exploding. A lot of facilities are becoming, you know, very popular, and then they're doing indoor courts. So I live about an hour away from Jacksonville, Georgia. So in the last 2 years, they've come up with like 10 indoor facilities. So I have to drive an hour just to get a good game, just because where I live, there's a bunch of 4 or 5 players that I can beat with my eyes closed, basically. So I have to drive an hour just to play with the guys that are 5'0" and above. And some of the facilities that are being built are unreal. I mean, they're just indoor, and it's like they have like a sports bar. So it's like those things are kind of popping up left and right. The equipment, paddles, balls, and apparel. So I came up with my own brand, my paddle, which I'll talk to you guys about in a minute. And then there's the tournaments that you can host, events, camps. At my country club, I always do every, like 4th of July, every, Thanksgiving, every Christmas, I do something specific for them, and it's like an event. And with pickleball, everybody plays pickleball. So it's like, those things are always very popular, just because, you don't have to have like certain levels. Whoever wants to play, and then it's all about the social side of that. Sponsorship opportunities, advertising, and like I was saying, club members and lessons. One of the things that I saw, that in 2024, the revenue stream for the pickleball industry was 1.8 billion. And then they're saying that if this growth continues, by 2032 it'll be at 7.9. So the industry is kind of keeps growing. So I want to talk to you guys about my paddle. So this is my brand. This is my paddle. I named it after my daughter. So my daughter's name is Emery Luna, and the way that the story about this paddle came about, I wasn't expecting to do a business of it. I just, it wasn't something that I had planned to do. I was sponsored by Fromov. Hello. I was sponsored by Fromov Pickleball, and they wanted me to do a bunch of videos. So they were sending me like the top 10 performance paddles that was at the market at that time. It was maybe 2022. And I had just finished my contract with Selkirk, and I was like, okay, I'm in between contract, like I don't have to play with the Selkirk. And these guys were sending me all these paddles to review them. So I had the top 10 paddles that were the hottest in the market, and I was like, all right, I like this about this paddle, I like this about this paddle. So I kind of knew what I wanted to have in a paddle, because when I was playing with the Selkirk, it was very powerful. But my doubles game was not very good. I mean, I was a better singles player just because coming from tennis, but I felt like I needed something softer, something that was going to give me a lot more feel on the ball to be able to kind of compete with the top guys in the doubles industry. So this paddle took me about a year to develop it, going back and forth with the Chinese and just kind of developing. And in our first year we crushed it, and now we're coming up with our second model. That's coming out this summer, which this summer is going to be a little bit more powerful, just so that way I can compete with all the, the Yolas and all the powerful paddles that were coming out. So last year I started doing camps. So, people were requesting me to do camps. And this year what I decided to do is to brand the two together. So I came up with Luna Pickleball camps, and you get a paddle when I go to your club. So it's like a 2-day camp where you're with me for 12 hours. So 6 hours a day. It gets pretty intense. These people that are like hardcore fanatics that want to get better, they'll sign up for the camp. So I'll do 4 hours of instruction where we'll go all the shots for 4 hours, take a little break for lunch, come back, and we do match play. And I'll do like an analysis of how to break them down. So that's kind of how I branded the two together. I have 7 camps this year already planned. My first one's going to be international in Mexico. I'm going to Cabo in July, and then next week I'm in Painted Pickle in Atlanta, which is a pretty cool spot, like a restaurant/bar, indoor courts in the city in Atlanta when I'm there. So that's the paddle.
I got a question about
that.
Yeah. Why did you decide to make your own paddle? The ones that were out there were not good enough, or
no?
You think it's a great business?
So when I was with Selkirk, they were paying me to play. I was playing with their paddle, but also was selling a lot. I sold a bunch of those paddles, and I was like, if I can sell a paddle for Selkirk, something that I believed in Selkirk at the time, if I can come up with my own, I'm just gonna, instead of getting free clothes or whatever they were giving me, I was like, I'm just gonna get 100% of the profits. So that was kind of my, I was like, all right, I'm betting on myself. I finally got a paddle that I really want, and I created it. So it's it's something it competes with all the major brands, because all the major brands have the carbon fiber material in it, right? Then it's just a matter of just logistics. Like, do you like a longer handle? Do you like a longer face? Do you like it a little bit more weighted? So I came up with the 8 ounces, like I was telling Mark. This is 8 ounces is kind of like the most normal weight on a paddle, right? Hardcore players are gonna go a little bit more a little heavier, because they want that more punch. So I'm at 8.5. But all that stuff, you can play around with it. You can put the lead tape around the paddle to make it where you want it. There's some pros that go all the way to 9, so from 8 to 9, there's a lot of little variables that you can play around with it. So I just kept it at 8, so that's a very common way for amateurs. So yeah, that's kind of how I came up with the idea, and then all of a sudden it just kind of took off. Because right now I can literally get photos from all over the country, like people liking my paddle, and it's pretty rewarding just because it's kind of like my baby. I made it. I made it from scratch, so it's pretty rewarding that a lot of people think that it's a cool paddle, like the same way that I do. So the pickleball facilities, like I was saying, like that right now, it's in a boom right now. So the private clubs are opening nationwide. There's a couple of franchises that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Like all you guys heard of Lifetime Fitness. So in this year alone, they're spending $100 million into their existing facilities just to put pickleball in it. So if you think about it, that's a huge investment in the whole industry, just for those guys to just focus on pickleball. And as you guys saw, that Andreas is kind of one of their faces. So Andreas is face of Lifetime Fitness. When you get a guy that's that credible, you know, it means something. And he's not only in Lifetime, but he's got a battle with Yoda, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I am actually playing in one of the Lifetime facilities on the 12th of May. So I'm playing there at the PPA. So coming up in the next couple of days. There's another one called the Pickler, and they have 30 indoor clubs around the nation, and with 60 additional coming in 2025. So if you think about it, they already have franchise 30, and then in this year alone, they're going all the way to 60. So it's like a franchise, like McDonald's. They have the system down, and then they're selling it to people where they teach them how to run it, because everybody wants to run it the same way, but there's a system where you can run the clinics, run the open plays, run all these things. They'll teach you how to do all that, and that's called the Pickler. And they said they're going to do 7 international locations. So that's pretty exciting, just because like it's going international now, where before it was only in the United States. There's one more that's called City Pickle. That's in New York City, and they have 50 courts. So imagine if you have a facility that's got 50 courts. That's a pretty big deal. And especially in New York City, where the real estate is so, like, you know, it's expensive. So I wanted to talk to you guys about what the major players of the companies are. Selkirk is a company that I was with, that I was telling you guys about. Selkirk alone, in last year, they sold 1 million paddles. I mean, do the math. They sold 1 million, and that's their average 200 to 330 a paddle. Who would have thought that people were paying that much amount of money for a paddle? And if they sold $1 million, that's a lot. I was still talking to somebody earlier, because like they signed Jack Sock. So Jack Sock, as you guys know, he was like a star tennis player, and very good career. But he plays with like a paddle that's kind of like a pillow. Like you cannot put it away. So he's probably earning more money from Selkirk than he cares about what he's playing with. Because I mean, if he will play with something a little hotter, a little more powerful, he will dominate. He will crush all these guys, right? But he just doesn't really care. To me, I feel like he's just playing with whatever. Yola signed a bunch of the top guys. Those are the guys that are getting in trouble just because like they came up with a really hot paddle. So they're saying you have till like June 1st, and then it's banned. So all those sales, they have to like you have to send the paddle back, and they'll give you a new one. So, but that's a lot of thing, and it's not as good for the reputation, but they don't seem to mind. They're just they're keeping up with the return paddles, and then they're coming up with a new one. Paddle Tech is pretty big, and so is Franklin. Some of the facilities, the Chicken and Pickle, it's the same way. Like I was saying, it's kind of like a sports bar. Chicken and Pickle. The Painted Pickle, that's the one I'm going to be coaching my camp next weekend, actually. And then Lifetime Fitness, the one that I was telling you guys about. Some of the professional organizations, the PPA is the one that's kind of dominating at the moment, just because they signed all these players. And it's right now, it's in a weird transition phase, because like these guys are getting paid by salary. So they're just getting paid by showing up, and it really doesn't matter about their performance. So you're getting guys that are like getting, I don't know, whatever, 100 grand, 200 grand a year, and they can say, I lose the first round and I'm out. And there's no incentive. So Pickleball's in a weird spot, just because like they sign all these top guys, and the incentive is not there. So they're gonna have to like figure out have like a blend, where you get a salary, but then if you perform, you earn more, kind of like what tennis is. Tennis is just very perform-based, and like if you make it to the finals, you get more money that way. And then Major League Pickleball. Major League Pickleball is it's kind of like a team-based, and they kind of merge together. So Major League Pickleball. So the cool stat that I want to share with you guys is that Major League and the PPA, their sponsorship money, as far as like how much money they were getting in for sponsorships. In 2023, they went from 16 million. 2024, they went to 25 million, and then to 2025 this year, they went to 35 million. So there's more sponsorship money coming into for these pros to earn their living. So as we all know, we all have like our stars, or the people that we looked up to in tennis, like the Nadal, the Roger Federer. Like in pickleball, that really didn't exist till like now. Like now you're starting to see like Anna Lee Waters. She's like 17, 18, I think, and she's like dominating the sport. Like the girl that's second best doesn't even come close. She's 10 times better than the second best. So she wins singles, mixed doubles, and women's doubles in every single tournament. So I mean, so she just kind of completely dominates. I mean, she's lost a couple of times, but she walks away every tournament with a triple crown, mostly all the time. And that's amazing, man. Yeah, so she's the highest paid pickleball player with $3 million. So she earned $3 million last year. And then you got Ben Johns. He earned $2.5 million. I actually played that guy, and I don't care too much about it just because he was trying to target me. Because I hit him with the net, hit him the net. I hit a shot, hit the net, and it hit him. And after that, he started trying to hit me. So it was pretty intense. So, and then we got James Ignatovich. He's kind of like between his salaries and his coaching, because he does a lot of coaching. He earned $1 million. And I was supposed to have him come to my club last fall to do an exhibition with me, and then we got the hurricane came. So it was like the day before the hurricane, and we had to cancel it, so he didn't make it to the club. And then we got Federico Statsberg. He's from Argentina, and I remember playing him when he was not even that good. You know, he was just kind of starting out, but now he's like the face of Adidas. So Adidas just signed him, and it's making him the face of Adidas. And he beats everybody except Ben Johns. So Ben Johns is the only guy that beats Fed consistently. But Fed is the number one player on the world right now, just because like he has the best results out of the whole year. I don't know if you guys heard of Tyson McGuffin. Tyson McGuffin. He's probably the most energetic guy. He's kind of like the rebel Andre Agassi. You know, he tattoos, cool personality. Like he's got a really good forehand. I was watching his videos when I first started because I wanted to have the same forehand, and so my game is a lot like Tyson, and he's got brand.
Question.
Yeah.
What do you need to do to be in that list?
Yeah, so I have to play more and compete more. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's I played Ben, I played James and Federico. I never played Tyson, but you have to play more. Yeah. So Tyson has a lot of like sponsors. He's like the face of Skechers, and Yola signed him, and then Miller Lite. He's the guy. I don't know if you've seen him when he finishes his matches. He like grabs a beer and chugs it. It's so weird because in tennis you would never see that, right? You never see an athlete just chug a beer after his match. Pickleball, it doesn't matter. He just does it. So sponsorships and media. As more corporate brands are entering the space, you get like Celsius, Anheuser-Busch, Carvana, and DoorDash. So the PPA main sponsor is called Carvana PPA Tour. The DoorDash is the MLP. So MLP is called DoorDash, and I have a little bit of a picture here showing the court, and it's a pretty cool court because it's got the DoorDash logo in it. That just kind of came out. And then Anheuser-Busch owns the Atlanta Bouncers, which is an MLP team. So they own the MLP team, and they also own Michelob Ultra. And I don't know if you guys saw the Super Bowl ad that they did with all the pickleball players. So there was a big Super Bowl commercial with Michelob Ultra and the players that generated a lot of buzz. I mean, it was like 18 million views or something like that during the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Is Michelob Ultra still, like, when I was at Dunwoody, one of the members was on the distributorship, local distributorship for Michelob Ultra. And they said that Michelob Ultra brand wanted to own pickleball and be like the beer of pickleball. Are they still positioned that way, or?
100%. I mean, especially with this commercial, like.
So I think there might be some opportunities if you can find who the distributor is in your area to have them support. I mean, I pulled off getting a lot of money, and Dave was like, "Well, how did you do this?" I go, "Well, they actually asked me if we could give this much money." He goes, "No, they didn't." I go, "Yeah, it was the easiest sponsorship money I ever got in my life."
It's all who you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I contacted Lotto and they sponsored me. Contacted Melon. These are $80 hats that I would never be able to pay, but they give me free just because I asked. You know, you just have to just kind of like you said, pickleball is hot right now, and you know, brands like this want to get involved with it. Yeah,
They're
definitely.
giving us product and branded items for events.
Yeah.
Club level.
That's amazing.
Not pro level, yeah. So I think there's opportunities to do that for other people at their clubs.
Yeah. And then like celebrity investors, as you guys heard, like a lot of like celebrities are getting into owning these teams. Like the MLP teams, like LeBron and Tom Brady are part owners of some of the teams. So yeah, so that was one of the things. I challenge you guys to reach out to the relationship that you have, because like with pickleball being so popular, like if you have a relationship with Wilson, you know, you can get free paddles. You know, just because you have that relationship with your Wilson rep, they'll be able to kind of give you the free paddles, and then you're gonna be able to sell it to them. So it's kind of like just how you manage those relationships. So these are the challenges that I find in the business. Before I started playing, like it was so annoying. Like I coming from tennis, it was like I felt it was so annoying. Now, like I need to listen to that pickleball when I'm playing, you know. But like if you live in a neighborhood, people are gonna complain, because if you start playing at 7 in the morning, there's a club where I live that's right in the middle of a neighborhood, and they get a lot of complaints that way. Court shortages in urban areas, injuries from playing pickleball. So when I play with glasses, just because like the ball comes at me really fast, and I've gotten hit in the eye twice. If I didn't have those glasses, my eye would have been gone, because those guys are hitting it pretty hard, and like lasers. So I advise people to wear glasses when they play, just because sometimes you're playing with a person right next to you, and if it comes out of the paddle, it can hit you in the eye, you know, and it's like a freak accident. So every time I'm playing, I play with the glasses, and some of the young guys think I'm arrogant or whatever, but it really doesn't matter. I just do it for safety. For safety.
Frank,
Yep.
do you have specific glasses that you recommend? Because the market hasn't quite figured out which glasses are going to be kind of the glasses. Meaning, I grabbed the little $5 Wilson like shooting glasses, the unbreakable things that you get at Walmart. But I know there are certain brands out there that are actually selling pickleball specific glasses.
Right.
Do you know much about that?
Yeah.
Accessory?
So basically, I like to cover as much as possible, and I wear the big ones. So, and like I said, the young guys think I'm arrogant just because they think I'm trying too hard or whatever. But it's like I wear the big ones because they protect most of my face. I wear the Oakley ones, and they get pretty pricey. Like those Oakley ones are pretty pricey. But I play indoor, and I play in different different lighting. So I got a bunch of different lenses that depending on where I'm playing, I'm using those. But really, it's like the same glasses. Everybody's kind of using the same glasses, and they're just putting their name in there. It's not. There's not like one glass is better than the other. It's just the lens. Because in the indoor court, you need to have a different lens. You know, you have to have a different color for the ball to kind of pops up. And I find that the pink one on in the sun, like, it just gets the pickleball like lights up a little more. And at the end of the day, that's huge for when you're trying to see the ball when it's coming that fast from you. But as far as brands, there's a lot of brands that are available.
I'm just thinking it's a good market for a pro shop.
It's a huge market. It's a huge market because I mean, literally, you can sell those glasses for like $200, you know, and it's, you know, it's not gonna cost you more than like, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks or whatever it is. But it's a definitely, like I have some in my pro shop, and those are the ones that they just send it to me for free to try that I don't even use. Because I keep going back to the Oakley ones, the ones that I like the most because they give me more protection in my face. Price conscious. So I see that like all these pros tell me about like people don't want to pay as much as they do for tennis. So it's not as elegant, basically. So that's one of the challenges that, you know, but if you can have more open plays and you charge $15 for an open play, you can get more, you know, more players that way instead of just kind of lessons. But that's one of the challenges.
I tried to run a pro-am. I did the first pro-am in Atlanta when I was there. And then I tried to do one at my club in Tennessee. And these people were like, I was charging $250, and you know, $150 was going to go to the pro, and then with goodie bags and food and stuff. I mean, I was not looking to make money on it. You know, like, oh, this is just way too much money. And, you know, the membership is not cheap at our club. The homes that they live in are not cheap. So it's like, you know, but I think it just comes to like there's more of a ceiling on what pickleball players will pay this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, it's a little bit, they take about a little bit less than tennis, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then finding groups, that's one, when I'm doing my clinics, and I call them my academy just because like I'm very structured on how I do things. A lot of the players, they're like, Frank, I just love coming to your academy just because sometimes I can never find a match, but I know with where you have going on, it's something that weekly I have it set. So, and a lot of pickleball players, they get a little snobby or cliquish, you know. So that's something that, you know, that I get a lot, where I'm gonna play with everybody, you know. So it's like those people kind of, you know, they get cliquey about who they play. So that's one of the challenges. So the future trends, I feel like the international expansion. That's a picture of me playing in India earlier this year. I got drafted to be a team captain and one of the professional teams, and it was a blast. Just because like those guys haven't caught up to where the U.S. level is pretty high. Over there, they're just getting started. So when I went over there, I felt like I was Roger Federer. You know, it was just like they treated me like so. They want to take pictures with me. They have my glasses. They all want to, you know, have my glasses and take a picture with my glasses. We had like a person that took us everywhere, like a chauffeur, and it was just like a really cool experience. Just because they're not caught up there yet. But it was, so I feel like there's gonna be more places like that popping up just because it's not in the map yet. Social media. I was gonna give you guys a slide and tell you guys how I grew my social media, but then earlier this week, my social media got hacked. So it was like a bummer because like I control all access to it, and it took me a lot of years to develop it. And it was like the hacker even sent me a message through WhatsApp. He was like, "How much are you gonna pay me for your account?" So I didn't want to like get into it and start like a bidding war with this guy just because like he has all control. Don't get me wrong, I was panicking just because like my family's there, everybody follows me through that, and I lost completely access to my social media. All right, so it's kind of like it's starting to think about ways to. I made all those videos, but like at the end of the day, Instagram owns it, you know, because I don't have I can't access it. So that's where I'm at as far as like trying to figure out what my next move is. But a lot of my people that come to my camps. One of the guys said, "Oh, Frank, I've been following you for a year, and I wanted to come to one of your camps just to meet you." And I thought that was pretty cool that, you know, that he followed me for that long, and he just wanted to kind of meet me at one of my camps. And that's through social media, because without that, that wouldn't have happened. So I sent an email to Instagram, and the guy that helps me with it is like, "Frank, those guys are gonna take like 3 weeks to reply, even if they do, just because there's like billions of users." And we don't even know if we're gonna get that back because the guy wants money. The guy is trying to get money from me, And I'd rather just don't give him any, because if I give him some money, then he's gonna want more. And who knows if he's even gonna give it to me, you know? And it was just like, the technology is so like advanced that anybody can hack at anybody at any time. So if you get a message that you think it's from Instagram, because that's what happened to me. I thought it was a message from Instagram saying click on this so that way you don't lose your account. And I was like, okay, I click here, and then by the time that was too late, and then he goes inside my account and he changes the password, and then I'm locked out of my account. So with all this technology stuff, it's scary, but some of the stuff might be good as far as like smart paddles or AI coaching. I think there's a lot of like potential with youth leagues and school programs, just because it's so easy for them to get started. Because I can be, in the court with a family with a 6-year-old, a 12-year-old, and the dad that's 30, and then I'm their fourth, and it's like we're having so much fun. In tennis that would never happen. You can never get this much fun with all these generations. So I feel like with school programs, and you're starting to see that with like Duper getting like the college level tournaments and doing all that stuff. So that's starting to come, but I feel like we haven't even tapped like tennis. Like the lady that was speaking earlier about academies and how she has the #1 kid in the country. We don't have that yet. None of that is put in set. And then obviously as far as professionalization, as far as like coaches wise, I go and I just don't see that much detail in the coaching. So I feel like where it's going to become more popular, you need to have that professionalism, kind of like we do in tennis. And then the Olympics potential, that's something that's in the future. Conclusion, so pickleball is getting to be big business. It's a big opportunity to just kind of have an extra part of your income. It's still early in its growth curve, so if you're interested in for me like to coach alongside with you, like I would love to come to one of your clubs and just run a 2-day camp and show you how I do things. That's the best way kind of to learn. And yeah, that's it. If anybody have any questions.
Can you put the slide back so
Yeah.
we can take a picture?
So Frank, we have a teenage son who just won like a couple of pickleball tournaments. What would you suggest to the teenage guys that are doing well? I mean, you mentioned the path, but do you have more suggestions? What can we tell them when we go?
Yeah, well, the thing is that you have to be. You feel like he probably feels like a rock star because he's beating like the 4 or 5 guys, right?
Right.
He needs to be around a group that are gonna beat him consistently, and are gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna show you what are your weaknesses, because in pickleball, literally you're only as strong as your weakest player. Like if you're potential 5-0, but you have a lot of weaknesses, I'm not gonna play with you, just because like in the pros you can't have any weaknesses, because they'll exploit it really quick, and then all of a sudden like I'm the best player on the court, I'm gonna get iced out, and they're gonna exploit their weaknesses. So it's all about kind of like you don't want to have any weaknesses. So I would say for him to learn, yeah, he's probably overpowering a lot of players, especially people that come from tennis. It's easy to overpower people that don't come from tennis, and you feel like a rock star, I can beat everybody. All right, but then get into a match where it's like, all right, you're not gonna overpower me. I'm gonna exploit your weaknesses, and then you're gonna be like, what just happened here? So I'll put him in those kind of scenarios where see where what the next level of players are, and try to get him into like find something like a mentor, or find somebody that can help him out, because it's he's young and he can develop.
I have a question.
Yep.
Go back to your other presentation. One thing I love that you said is at the 5-0 level, higher level, it's not as much about pace, it's about shape. I love how you said that, because that just shows what the difference in technology has happened
Right.
for the players. What would you say are the 2 most important things, if you get people that are starting to buy in and love pickleball, what would you say are the 2 most important things to help get them to another level?
I mean, like I said, most of the weaknesses are gonna get exploited, right? So for me, like a lot of players, a lot of coaches teach, get to the kitchen, right? So they'll be like saying, doesn't matter what happens, get to the kitchen. No, that's the end result. You want to get to the kitchen. It's how you get to the kitchen is what's going to separate you. When I get to the kitchen, I'm established, the ball's down, and I'm ready to take you out. But if I'm getting to the kitchen with the ball high, it doesn't make any sense. So it's kind of having them understand that you want to get to the 50-50 mark, but with an extra shot, right? Because they're so rushed into getting there that they're going to get exploited. But if the ball's down, then they can get to the kitchen line to the 50-50 mark as much as possible. And yeah, like I said, and people don't know this. They think they have got a little bit of racket skills, and they think they're amazing. But there's holes that you can just kind of find as you're playing, and the less holes that you have, the better people player. Because as a team, it's so hard to carry somebody. Yeah. In tennis, you can do it. In tennis, you can you can take a little more. You can hide the weaknesses a little more. In pickleball, it's so hard to avoid those. Yeah. So yeah.
That's good.
Anything else?
Good.
Do you picture, so the earlier question, I like it about the teenager that plays. Do we picture pickleball as ending up similar to tennis as a business where there are junior academies? So you can't say, well, I grew up in pickleball and this is what I did when I was in 12 and under and 14 and under. That just didn't exist. So all of us as former tennis players can all say, well, here was my path. I went through it. We have some expectation there that we've been through something similar. But that didn't exist 20 years ago. So are we looking at something like that where at our clubs and at our facilities, we could at some point have the afternoon kids in tennis academy, but then you've also got the pickleball academy? Are we looking at something like that that's coming?
I mean, I think so, just because like 2 years ago, you didn't have the star power, right? For us, we grew up with Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal. We looked up to them. We saw Wimbledon. We were watching US Open. We always knew what the majors were. We never missed those. In pickleball, like I'm playing in a major next week. No one knows about it. Like the Atlanta Open is a major. It's a huge tournament. All the top players are gonna be there, but really no one cares. No. If you win that tournament, it really doesn't matter to anybody. But if you win Wimbledon, that's a life-changing thing. Like that would change your whole life. So people, they're striving for that. So I feel like the more of we get like the star powers, like the Annalise, that we're not only going to have one, we have a bunch of them, like the top 100 can make a living, right? They're making a living right now because they're getting a salary, but no one knows about it. They're just beginning to look up to Annalise and Ben Jones and all these people. But I feel like the more of that and the more of like prestigious tournaments becomes, then all of a sudden, like, all right, I want to be like Ben Jones. I want to be like, because we all grew up, idolizing Roger Federer and all those guys. So I feel like once that's there, I think that it might be a possibility just because, like, it's becoming so accessible, man. Like, you go to, like I said, in Jacksonville, just an hour away from my house, there's 10 indoor places. And it's not that expensive. You can just go play there and rain or shine, you're playing. In tennis, there's no, I don't even know if there's an indoor tennis court anywhere near me, because I live south and that's not an option. So I feel like the more people get into it, the more people take it seriously. That might be a possibility because it's not even there.
And then maybe the second tier is college scholarships, right? So not every kid thinks I never thought I was gonna go pro. But my dad said, all right, figure out how you're going to pay for college. Well, I can do that with this. Is pickleball, I don't know how many, does anybody know how many college scholarships there are at this
So there are colleges that are giving scholarships already.
Okay.
So that's an opportunity. Not as much as tennis, I'm sure, but it's already started. And then there's what you call the kind of like the Intramuros team. I play with the guy that played for the Georgia pickleball team, and the guy is unreal. I mean, the guy is so good. Like I beat him, but it's tough. It's tough to beat him, and he plays at the intramural team. Just because that's like the cool thing to do at their age right now. Because they're all the cute girls are doing it. Like all the athletes they can pick up. You don't have to have a strong tennis background to get into it. So I mean, you can get pretty good pretty quick. You're limited about like I said, the hand speed, but you know, there's a lot of people getting into it.
I know a couple of people pretty high in pickleball and the organization, and basically what they're saying, if we can get to the Olympics first, and then second, if we can have Division One,
Right.
call it, those are the two
Yeah.
next big steps. Olympics first. If pickleball can get to the Olympics, that's going to change the whole world.
Yeah. But the thing is that the thing about the Olympics is, yeah, it's a nice concept, but think about it. USA is the only one that's playing. I mean, who's going to play in that? You know, right now we got.
That's how we like it.
To be in the Olympics, you need to have 70 federations.
So that's not
70 federations all over the world.
70 federations.
Minimum 70.
That's going to take a. I mean, it might explode, but right now we're not even close to that. Like India's the only one that's even close to us. And they have a big population and all these tennis players, and I was just like seeing. When I was there, I was like, man, this is awesome because like they're really embracing this sport. But like India against the US, that's it. Or maybe China's next.
Italy's trying to.
So it's all these people that are going to try
China,
to get
Japan.
professional because they don't know about it yet.
So jump into the manufacturing part real quick. It seems that the noise has gotten less. Is that true, or is that just the fact that I've been playing now for so long that my ears are my hearing's shot?
Yeah, so
It doesn't seem to be as loud as it was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, in my opinion. So is the paddle technology and the plastic and the ball, are you aware of anything? Or?
yeah, so a couple of years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, I think it was John McEnroe that he was the face of this brand that was like a felt.
Yeah.
Like it was like a felt paddle.
Owl.
There you go, owl. And dude, I touched it and I was like, dude, I'm never playing with this thing ever in my life. What I'm looking for is grit, right? So none of the pros are taking this seriously. You don't get any performance from it. Yeah, it's nice because like there's no noise about it. But to tell you the truth, like for me, like the noise is what I need the noise to kind of know what kind of shot they're hitting, basically.
Yeah, but
You know what
I mean, I feel like it's changed even now. And again, maybe I've just lost.
No,
my
and
hearing.
it's changed because like there's so many changes happening. Like every tournament I'm playing right now, they have a different ball.
Yeah.
So in pickleball, in tennis, it's not as huge of a difference. But when you're playing with a faster ball and a slower ball every week, man, it's like you're coming into this competition like, okay, what kind of ball we're playing. So it's like that has a difference of like the sound.
Yeah, and that's
So-
what I was wondering if the carbon fiber, or if you knew anything from the manufacturing side that you know,
There is a ball coming that's gonna there is a ball coming that's supposed to then the noise. It hasn't come out yet, but like all the pros are saying, we're not gonna play with this because like they want to hear the ball, and it's like once you get into that competitive mindset, like you want to have that noise. It was annoying at first. Don't get me wrong, I hated it. But now
long story short, I need to go back to the doctor and check my hearing, is what you're saying.
no, but it has changed just because of the ball and everything.
So is this ball going to be approved by USAPA?
So what's happening now is that USA Pickleball was, think about it kind of like that was like the USTA, right? So my paddle is USA Pickleball approved. Now the PPA is getting so powerful that they became their own regulator. They are saying that they're making the rules. So they approve the Yola paddles, which are the hot paddles. They're approving their own ball. So it's kind of like getting so, we're in a place where it's just so weird because like, USA is not going to approve all those other paddles, but PPA is called UPA, they are. So it's kind of like depending on where you are. So all the amateurs can play with my paddle, right? But if I go to a pro tournament, I can't play with my paddle. So I got to play with something else. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now as far as like, you know, I'm going to be playing this event, the Grand Slam, because I need to, but I'm not going to be able to use my paddle.
You can do a paint job on it like tennis does.
Yeah, yeah. But so the rules are just kind of changing, and it's just depending on what kind of tournament and what sanction is sanctioned by.
I mean, my brother-in-law is an engineer, and he's been working on trying to create a quieter ball. And you know, and I told him what the parameters needed to be. It needed to bounce the same, it needed to feel the same, and all that. And there's different plastics, but the plastic that's used for pickleballs is such a cheap plastic. And certain plastics will bind to other plastics better than others. And he said, like, well, there's so many space age materials, but it would be so cost prohibitive. You would have a $200 or $500 pickleball. So that's,
Yeah, so right now I would say there's so many.
Might be a thing.
sell a couple, that's all you need.
I mean, if somebody's gonna get into it, now is the time to do it. Because like what I'm seeing is that every club has different types of balls. Where when I first started, we all used one ball because we were playing in this competition and we all wanted to play, practice with the ball that we were gonna play in competition. So it was called the Dura 40. And it was like, that ball was like so fast and it was so hard to play with that you really had to like practice with it. But it was a bad ball because it didn't last long. It was like maybe 2-3 sessions at the max, and then you have to, and it was $4 a ball. So it's like, now the balls that are popular right now, like the Franklin X, it's very durable. So you can play with it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and that's the one that I like to teach with just because it saves me money, and it's the most popular in my area. So like all the Jacksonville tournaments, they play with the Franklin X, but if I go to another place in the United States, then they might be using the Selkirk ball, you know? So it's like, right now it's just a different, it's weird because like all these territories have different types of balls. But yeah. Well, thank you guys.